Hey, YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin and XRP. So those are the two we're going to be going over. Going to be on the one-day chart. It's going to be USD. Right now it is 12:31 p.m. Eastern Time. It's October 16th, 2019. So, guys, we're in a critical point here for Bitcoin. We've been trading under the 200-day moving average now for over 2 weeks. We're getting more comfortable underneath that 200-day moving average. And personally, just as a person who studies trends, if you step back and look at this as an investor, if you see something underneath the 50, underneath the 200-day, and you're looking at this pattern that's taking place when we had this large drop out of that descending triangle, you're not looking at this right now and saying, all right, I have to go long on this. I need to go long on this. We're still having lower highs that are intact, guys, and we're looking here if 7,788 is going to act as support for us. So we're working in this channel between 7,788 and about that $8,600 right there where we've been bouncing around. But we're at some critical levels for Bitcoin right now, and we're going to dig into all this, guys. If you enjoy what we do here, if you want me to continue to put this out for you, let me know down low. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell me what you think. Are we going to start breaking up above $8,600, or are we going to be breaking down here down into that $7,500, $7,200 range? I want you to let me know down low. And also, guys, I just want to let you know, I'm going to show you the upside, the downside. I'm not a bull or a bear. Obviously, I want the market to continue to go up. So I guess I would say long term, I'm bullish, and I want this market to continue to move. But I'm not one who's just going to fight the trend. If the trend's down, I want to trade with the trend. If the trend's up, I want to trade with the trend. If we're moving sideways, I want to sit in cash and be patient and wait to see which way the whales are going to end up moving this market. So that's how I'm looking at it. I know some people say, oh, you're a bear, this or that. I'm being realistic, and I want to put that out there for you, that we want to look at things from just a technical standpoint here. This isn't getting into the fundamentals or anything. We're purely looking at price action. That's what I want to do here on this channel, and want to try to do the best that I can. So we'll dig into this, guys. First of all, what I want you to really pay close attention to as we go throughout the day today, we're going to look at this candle here, this next one. So what happened was, guys, I was in on the 4 hour, and this was the trend line in white that I had drawn. This is on the one-day chart, so it looks a little different. But we had a candle close below this trend line, and after that, we've been falling down. So now what we're going to have to see is if we get some support around that 7,788, and that's going to be where we had this previous bullish engulfing candle that pushed us back up to the $8,600 level. So that's something I'm really watching, is this area around that 7,788, see if that holds. And also, if we do get a drop or a puncture through that, this support right here, I'm going to be looking at the 0.618 for a potential long for Bitcoin. Now, what I would need to see off the 0.618, we would have to see volume, and we would have to see a nice candlestick pattern off that 0.618 with good volume, and that's going to be sitting here at around 7,265. because many times, guys, if you look at the previous bull markets we've been in, when we're making moves to the upside, a lot of times you will retrace to that 0.618. so we're just going to see if this does this in the larger macro portion here down to that 0.618. so if you go back throughout all these times, guys, each time we were climbing here, a lot of the times when we would have retracements, we would go back to that 0.618. Now, the difference is we never dropped below this 200-day moving average in this uptrend. Now, this uptrend, we have lost it. It's acting as overhead resistance for us right now, as well as that 0.5 that we broke down through, and that was at $8,500 right there. So that's, this is pretty staunch overhead resistance that we're dealing with, along with the 200-day moving average acting as overhead resistance at 8,667. So we need to get up over that. And the longer that we end up trading below the 200-day moving average and below these lower highs, the more trouble we're going to get in, because trends, guys, are like rivers. Once they start moving, it starts in the short term, or just a small little river, then it gets moving and it gets larger and stronger, and it's harder to break this downtrend. See that? So guys, this here, if this was our lower high, you can see it's even so much weaker than up through here. We didn't even make it to back test this 50-day moving average as well as this trend line. So that's something I'm still going to look at. If we get a bounce off that 7,788, I want to see what we end up doing with this upper trend line, because we really need to break out, and we need to break out soon. Like I said, the longer we trade below this, the more pain there could be. We could just keep getting rolled to the downside. Now, getting into some indicators for us, we're going to look at the MACD. MACD histogram's ticking to the negative. We did have our bullish cross here, so we're still up in the bullish territory, but we're starting to get a little bit of a hook here. We have not had a downward cross yet, so that is not confirmed to the downside, but the histogram is ticking to the negative. Next one I want to get into with you is the RSI. We're just going to go through these, just a few of them. Relative strength index. So more so what I'm saying is just be very careful. If you're taking out a long in these positions, use a really tight stop loss, guys, and that's the best that I can tell you, because you do not want to be trading against the trend here with a long position open, in my opinion, with Bitcoin. Bitcoin could go down to the $6,000 levels. We could end up trying to find support off this area where we had this descending triangle before and we broke to the downside. That could be a buy area around $6,000. It could happen very fast and very aggressively. With the RSI, we're at 35. You can see we're having lower highs here, so that's also something I would want to see a break out of this trend line on the RSI, using it like a line graph on good volume is what we need to see. And right now we're at 7,979. We're down 2.25%. So stay cautious, guys. That's the channel we're working in. That's what I can tell you right now. Right now the trend is down. So keep that, in your back pocket, that the trend is down. You don't want to be going against the trend, in my opinion. You don't want to try to catch falling knives. You don't want to try to pick the bottom. You want to wait for good confirmation to be able to take out that long, even if it means a higher price. I've paid that lesson before. I'm sure some of you guys have. Let me know down low if you've had some before where you've bought in. You said, oh man, this is probably going to be the bottom. This is it. And then all of a sudden Bitcoin or whatever drops another $1,000. It is what it is. That's the name of the game. That's the game we're in. We're in the most volatile market in the world. And that's why it's a trader's paradise, because if you can take advantage of these moves here, I mean, look at that, guys. That is massive amounts of percents when this runs, either to the upside or to the downside. So now we'll go into XRP. And if you'd like me covering XRP, let me know down low. We'll continue to get that in with Bitcoin. So for XRP, guys, what's nice, we're moving up on our RSI. We're having higher highs and higher lows here. We're at 56 on the RSI. What happened was we still set a lower high. As we've been in this downtrend, see this, guys, lower highs, lower lows coming in, right? Now, if we're trying to identify these trends in the short term, we now have a short-term uptrend. So what we'd like to see is for us to put in a higher low here, then come up and maybe test this 200-day moving average, which is going to be around 32 cents. And if we can get up over top of that, then we can really cruise. That's the deal. If we can finally get that higher high over this area at around 31 cents, then there's really, a decent amount of room to run, guys. We're going to have this little cluster here, but beyond that, we could go up to around 40 cents very fast, and those are big gains in terms of percent-wise. That's a lot of profit. So we want to keep our eye on that. We're still trading up above this 50-day moving average. That's a good thing. You can see if you bought here above the 50, we'd be up a little higher now. So say you ended up buying at around 27 cents, you'd be up to around 29. So that would have been a good buy there. It was on volume. We closed up above the 50. You had to wait out that higher low, but we continued to move to the upside there. So now it's just seeing if we can find that support here and then make a move to the upside. To the downside, we would want to see this 50-day moving average still act as support, which is nice, though. We back tested it here and we did find support. So that shows a little bit more strength, because it's already been back tested once. So we'd have to see if that would act as support, and that's going to be around 26 cents is what we'd want to see there. We'll get into a couple more indicators, but the main thing, guys, is finally getting that higher high. We need to break this pattern of the lower highs and lower lows. That's what's the most important thing for us for XRP. Let's get into our stock RSI. Stock RSI is up a little higher here. Guys, we're at 77 and 82, so we are in overbought territory on the stock. Keep that in mind. That's a faster moving oscillator. Let's end up doing our awesome oscillator. This is going to be like a histogram form for you. You can see we're moving to the upside, so that's looking decent there. Then let's do our MACD. MACD, I want to pull this up here for you so you can see. All right, so the histogram, we are starting to tick to the downside a little bit, losing a little bit of strength there. We had our bullish cross, which correlated. I always like to look at price, guys, while you look at these crosses. So for us, say you would have bought at the cross right here, we would have been buying off this doji candle at about 25 cents, and we would have been able to ride it up to about 29 there. So that would have been a nice little move for us. And that's the thing. I mean, you really start adding some of this stuff together, guys, and you put a plan, and what you do is try to put the odds in your favor. You know, I don't have a wizard hat. I don't have a crystal ball. None of us do. What I'm just trying to do is put the odds in my favor and saying, you know what, if XRP goes up to this area, what am I going to do if I'm sitting in a position? Am I going to take profit up here? Am I going to wait to see how the volume is? What are the indicators looking like? You have to have a plan for the upside as well as the downside, and if it's moving sideways, then you have to be patient and you have to wait to see which way the market makers are going to end up pushing the market. It's crucial for us, guys. And take a look where we're at for XRP just overall. We're basically at the very bottom of a market cycle. Could we go lower? Anything can happen in this space. It's the Wild West, guys. But this is about the same price we were before when we had this massive breakout to $3.30. And you also have to have a plan for that. Say in the next month or two, what if this did happen? What are you going to do? If you see it going straight up like that again, are you going to take profits this time? You know, I learned that. Guys, a lot of those, you know, big spikes I got to ride out. But at the time, like I said, I was listening to the wrong people, which was my own fault. And I'm hearing hodl, 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 when I could have made a nice profit, and I didn't end up doing it. And that's why I've studied so hard to learn this type of stuff, because when anything goes straight up like that, I promise you over time it's going to go straight down, and look what happened. And the reason why we've been in this bear market for so long and shaking this out for so long is because this move was so fast and so aggressive and so powerful, it essentially had to go through a full bubble pop. So I've learned a lot, guys. I've been in this space probably for about 2.5 years now, and there's just so many things that I've learned that I want to try to help people and you know, do the best that I can to point people in the right direction. I'm not your financial advisor, but I just want to bring you down to earth sometimes. Sometimes there's videos out there that are flying high, and I've seen people saying XRP is going to $100 by the end of this year, guys. We got to be for real about things, and I want to be realistic. So we'll take this, you know, penny by penny for XRP, 5 cents at a time, and let's see what can happen. God bless each and every one of you. Like, subscribe if you get something out of this. Take care, my friends.